Helps if it's in shot, you fucking moron. Idiot. I'm not recording! Fuck's sake. Nice. Hi. Hi. It's been a while. I will say I feel like my absence from YouTube has been completely justified. It probably wasn't, but I personally feel like it was. Basically, what happened was, obviously I've only done one video on F1 24, and I mainly focus on the ranked races. But a change between F1 23 and F1 24 for the ranked races has been that the ranked races are now 5 lappers, which originally I thought was going to be incredible. It's not. On F1 23 it was about keeping it clean, keeping it consistent, and everyone seemed to understand that. Everyone was very respectful, at least in the higher divisions. But now there's a new meta for F1 24, and it's shit. F1 ranked this year is if you have the pace on someone, or even if you don't, just stay behind them, use your battery to stay behind them for 4 laps, and then on the last lap, just take them out. Because the penalty for taking someone out, most of the time, if you're smart about it, is a warning and just 1 bad lap compared to 4. So there's no real, deterrent. Now a little bit of backstory about why I stopped uploading for a bit. Just before I stopped uploading, I recorded for 2 hours straight doing F1 ranked. Every single race I got taken out. And I'm not even exaggerating. Every single race on the last lap I got taken out. Or I took someone out, but I really felt it was fair game. I was losing my mind by about the, 90-minute mark. But don't worry, this video isn't about me just ranting. I've come with evidence. So this race was actually the last race I recorded in that 2 hour stint. So by this point, I was absolutely hating myself. And going a bit insane. I had a shocking qualifying. I start P16 in a wet Brazil race, but we have 5 lights, and it's lights out and away we go. Someone doesn't get off the line ahead of me. It's a pretty decent start for me. We're going to get alongside someone on our right hand side. Someone's getting squirrely into turn number 1. We're just going to try and avoid all the carnage. There's some carbon fibre flying at me, more flying off to the left hand side, and so far it's been a pretty clean turn 1. Up the inside of 2 cars through turn 3, up into P11, up into P10, down the straight. Someone has launched up into the air. We're just going to gloss over that, I guess. I don't really know how to address that, but coming through turn number 5 and 6, up into P8, it's been a phenomenal start for me in the first sector. I can't see how this could possibly go wrong. And coming down towards turn number 8, we're just going to get a little hint of what is to come later on in the race. Someone just pushes me out of the way at the apex. We're going to be side by side through turn number 9. We're going to try and stay ahead of him, but this is where the downfall for this lap really starts to deteriorate. We've got someone who's spun on the inside, and for some reason on the second half of the lap I just lose all the ground I've made up in the opening half of the lap, mainly because I just got put off and a bit frustrated by the guy that literally just pushed me out of the way. We are able to go back up into P8, and halfway through lap number 2 we're going to go up the inside of Renell. You can see he's got front wing damage as we go through turn number 8, so hopefully we can use that to our advantage through the twisty middle section. This should be an easy move, but he's doing a pretty good job at staying side by side of us. Inside line for turn number 10, and he can't really answer to that. We are going to go up into P7, so we're slowly making our way through the field, but that isn't going to stop Renell from coming back at us down the back straight. Despite having front wing damage, he is giving me a run for my money, and at this stage I'm really trying not to piss anyone off and give someone a reason to take me out at a later stage. It's going to happen anyway, but I'm just trying to keep it clean, get through the field as people make mistakes, as we do through turn number 1. You can see Renell and whoever this guy's ahead of us, they're battling pretty hard. So I'm hoping I can just pick up the scraps when these two inevitably collide, and hopefully don't collect me also. You can see on lap number 5, things are starting to get messy now, and this is just standard F1 24 ranked. We're just going to continue watching this fight ahead of us. No, we're not. Someone started for inside at turn number 10 once again. We actually lose the back end because of it, and we're going to push him onto the grass. It looks like P4 is going to be the best we're going to get because P3 have pulled away. Come down to the final corner. We think about a move up the inside, but we're going to keep it clean. This guy isn't. He's going to dive the inside of me, and for some reason, he is just going to take us both out at the final corner. It was someone who I hadn't seen or interacted with at all throughout that race, but come the final corner, he decides, let's just take someone out, why not? He doesn't even gain anything from it. He also takes himself out. That is just F1 ranked on F1 24. Now, if you're someone that doesn't play F1 ranked, first off, I envy you. But you probably think I'm overreacting, or I did something to the guy who took me out, or I just picked a bad race. None of those things are true. You know what? I'll play the entirety of that race sped up so you can see what I did to that guy. If you can point it out, by all means tell me in the comment section. You won't find anything because I didn't even see that guy until he decided to kill me. But that is just every single ranked race on F1 24, and it's painful. It's genuinely painful to play. So that is the reason I took, what is it? Well, 69 days off. It wasn't planned. I just thought, I'm ready to make a video now. Oh, it's been that long. That's nice. But what have I been up to in those 69 days? Well, I drove around Silverstone. That was that was the thing that happened. Yeah, I've got footage of it. Oh, look at these incredible graphics. I definitely made these. Definitely wasn't already provided by the Silverstone team. Hey, it's me in the car. Can't help but notice my my helmet says extra small. I didn't realise my helmet said that. They just gave me a helmet, and I didn't realise they were just taking the piss out of my head size. Hey, look, there's my dad taking pictures. Oh, sorry, not my dad. My chauffeur and photographer for the day. Yeah, basically, I had a track day at Silverstone, and I went to drive a mini F1 car there. It was pretty good. I did struggle though. I did struggle, unfortunately. So first off, we all went behind a pace car, which was just a standard road car, just to get used to the car. I will say it was really frustrating to drive because the gear stick was on the right hand side, and any British people watching this, you'll know that's incredibly difficult to get used to. Also, clearly my neck muscles were not at the level of F1 drivers. Yeah, after some uneventful laps behind the pace car, we got used to the cars, and then we were sent out on our own for, I think it was about 20 minutes, to just see what lap times we could do. And here we go. The pace car didn't really allow us to properly, push it with these cars. I once again struggled to get into gear as we pulled away, but we were now out on track with everyone else. And let's see what I can do in an actual race car. Oh, I'm struggling to get into gear. That's a phenomenal start. Don't worry, that will be a common occurrence for this segment of the video. I struggled for a long time with this gearbox. Okay, after my blunder with the gearbox in the first corner, let's see how we do in the first proper braking zone. Oh, we've absolutely fucking murdered that cone. Oh, and I'm grinding the gearbox again. There we go. We got it. We got it into gear. Good job, Connor. I swear on my life it was harder than it looks. I could not shift down from fourth into third in the braking zones. I could not get into gear. One thing I probably should mention is how overtaking worked. Obviously we weren't in an actual race because we were all... There was 12 of us, and we were all obviously not experienced racers. Or at least most of us weren't. There were 3 people with their own helmets and their own overalls, but I don't want to make any assumptions about being sweaty. But in terms of overtaking, we were shown the blue flag and basically told to get out of the way. That unfortunately happened a lot with me because I was obviously losing a lot of time in corners because I wasn't in gear. It was a horrible set of events that just culminated in me being overtaken quite a bit for the next 20 minutes. Anyway, you'll see on the left hand side I'm getting waved the blue flag by the marshal, my favourite marshal of this day. He really likes me, but we get out of the way of whoever's on our left. There he is, there's a sweat, and there's another sweat. That wasn't emasculating in the slightest. But we're coming around again to start our fast. No, we're getting blue flagged again. I think this guy's just a big supporter of me. Obviously, I'm in the blue car. He's probably just a big fan. See, my problem at the start of this session was because I couldn't really shift down confidently into corners. I had absolutely no confidence at all into any corners. So I couldn't really push the car to the maximum. As you'll see, coming down to this braking zone, I'm once again struggling to get into gear. You can see I think I've got it, and then I haven't. I end up having to pull to the right, and eventually I get into third. I could not get it into gear, and it was incredibly frustrating. I swear I'm a competent driver in real life, but this gearbox, load of shit. Alright, coming down to my favourite corner once again. Let's see if I can get into gear this time. I'm actually staying with... I've killed another cone, for fuck's sake. Oh, no, I've still not mastered getting into gear through that corner. There we go. Come around the final corner. I am getting blue flagged again. This is... I'm having a fucking great time at this stage. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm kidding, of course. Despite the utter humiliation, I was having a great time. Now, obviously, by this point, you can see where I was struggling. So I made the decision at the time. This was about... I think it was about halfway through the 20 minutes. I decided, fuck it. I'm not shifting. I'm just going to keep it in third. And that decision was probably the best I'd made all day. Because from that point, I actually found some pace. I'm not going to go so far as to say I was lighting up the timing pages, but I was at least on the timing pages. And this decision was a blessing. As we come round the final corner, we're going to see our favourite marshal of the day. Is he supporting us? No, he isn't. In a way, that's a blessing. We're not going to be overtaken for once. We can actually stick to the left hand side and properly push this car now. Okay, let's go on board with myself for my fastest lap of the session. Coming out of the final corner in third. We're going to keep it in third down the straight. Coming down towards turn number one, we're going to keep it in third. Oh, fuck it. Okay, here we go. Round the final corner now. This was my fastest lap I managed on the day. Come out of the final corner in third. We're going to keep it in third for the entirety of this lap because I can't use the gearbox. Down towards turn number one is a chicane. We're not going to run wide this time. Avoid the curb. Then we get to relax a bit given how it's a pretty easy corner coming up. We've got a left hand turn onto the back straight. A back straight which I also got overtaken on quite a bit, but not this time. Coming out of the turn down the longest straight on this track. We should be shifting up to fourth around about halfway through this straight. We're not going to do that because I can't get it back into third. Coming down to my favourite corner on the track. How are we going to manage it? We're going to take a nice line, clipping the apex and keeping it in third means we're actually going to keep it in gear. Being spurred on by the fact I was catching a car ahead of me for the first time this session. We've got a windy section coming up. Hopefully, if I keep up this pace, I'll be able to actually overtake someone. That would be, you know, a nice achievement after being about 10 laps down by this stage. But coming into the final corner now, you're meant to take a wide line. For some reason, I just couldn't get used to that. And we're fucking getting blue flags. But it doesn't matter, that's the end of our fastest lap. We do at least get one lap where we do get a decent time. We're going to be overtaken at the end of it. We'll treat it as because it is a cooldown lap. We'll say that. I mean, he's just absolutely fucked off. So we achieved our goal. We got control of the car. We got a decent lap time in. There was just one thing left I wanted to do today. And that was overtake someone. I just wanted to overtake one person. Please. And because we'd found our pace and we're being more consistent, we were actually catching cars this time. We've caught 3 cars down the back straight. And with about 2 laps to go, I think, at this stage, We're going to get our wish. We're going to overtake one person down the back straight. What a feeling. What a feeling. I'm now only 6 laps down. I had absolutely no concept of how long I was out there. At this stage, my arms were absolutely killing me. But I was thinking about having a second overtake to my name. You can see I'm right in the back of someone down the start-finish straight. But the fact they were using 4th, they do pull away from me a little bit. But I could get them down the back straight. But unfortunately, as we pull onto the back straight, we do get checkered flags. Marking the end of the session, we're not able to make the overtake. So we got 1 overtake to our name, we got a quick lap, and that was the end of my drive at Silverstone. Luckily, I was able to shift down to 2nd and 1st to stop the car. It was literally just shifting down from 4th to 3rd that I struggled with. But admittedly, given the pain I was feeling in my arms and my shoulders at this stage, I was more than happy to call it quits there. We got 1 overtake. We were able to figure out our pace and keep it on track. We didn't embarrass ourselves by spinning. It was a great experience. Mostly. One of the only downsides being the guy didn't cut the camera off quick enough, so you see me struggling to get out of the car. I had to give it 2 attempts because I realised at that point my arms were absolutely fucked. But you're probably wondering how I did in comparison to everyone else. I obviously struggled dramatically at the start, but they actually gave us a sheet with all our fastest lap times and all of my times, so I can tell you. And it's not that embarrassing, so I'm more than happy to tell you. So out of 12 people, I ended up placing 8th with a time of 1:11.8. You can see the 3 drivers that were either experienced drivers or just sweats, as they got times in the 1:03s and the 1:04s. I was very much in the mid-pack and actually king of the 1:11s. Somehow, even though I got a 1:11.8. And I definitely wasn't the slowest because someone got a 1:17.5. So I didn't embarrass myself too much. I consider that a success. Also, just for reference, before I started not using 4th, my times were ranging from 1:31s to absolute fastest 1:21s. The second I stopped using 4th gear, 1:15, 1:18, 1:12, 1:13, 1:11, 1:15, 1:12. So for any aspiring F1 drivers out there, just don't change gear. You genuinely find about 10 to 15 seconds a lap. The data's right here.